Greetings and salutations, my fellow DMs, GMs, referees, judges, game operation directors, and all the other varieties of storytellers. This is your DM, Bill, and it's time for another DM Quick Tip.
There are game masters that see the game as a way to hold dominion over the players, taking the me versus you mentality and doing their best to hurt, harm, or destroy the characters. The story is just a framework to present traps or adversaries to hinder or stop the characters from reaching an unobtainable goal. Then saying things like, all you had to do is defeat the beholder to get to the next clue. It's not my fault you're only second level. I see this as nothing more than plain and simple bad game mastering. Please do not confuse the following subject with this game master style. Thank you. And now that the disclaimer is over, let's talk about a game master style that everyone loves to hate. That's going to be the bad guy game master. Let's be fair. The bad guy game master is not really a bad guy. And he's not out to get you. He just keeps track of everything. And I do mean everything. Calling you out from time to time on something is the way this game master maintains balance. Some of those call-outs may be how many rations you've eaten and how often. Did you have a drink of anything today? When does the effect of that potion kick in? Or how many rounds until the effect ends? How many arrows have you shot while hunting or in combat? And just as important, how many have you recovered? If you throw a dagger, did you retrieve it? When's the last time you slept? All these things are being tracked and kept accounted of by your game master, right down to the last copper you are about to spend, pointing out to the player that the character is 2 coppers short for that meal she just had in the tavern. Does this attention to so many small details really make the game master a bad guy? I don't think so. He's just trying to make sure the players have a certain amount of accountability for their money, their equipment, and their actions. The resources available to the characters are not infinite. Several need to be replenished, starting with currency. If you've listened to GM Scott, he has devised numerous ways to part the characters from their money. No matter what form of currency that takes, the characters always need more, provided they're able or allowed. Coinage is the most obvious form of currency, but in the desert, water may be how you purchase goods. On the glacier, coal or wood are signs of wealth. Little bits of metal serve no purpose here. In a deeply forested area, herbs and medicines are the only form of currency taken. And those various forms of money help get things like meals when the characters are hungry, shelter when the environment decides to be uncooperative, or when the characters desperately need rest. Maybe even a safe place to divide up the treasure away from hungry eyes. It could be rented for a time. We haven't touched on the fact that transportation of any form will not be cheap. Just a pony costs 30 gold pieces, not counting tack and feed. Just like in real life, most things are driven by wealth, and your wealth will be watched carefully by the bad guy game master. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to address a horribly misguided and hurtful rumor that I, Game Master Bill, have at times been known as the bad guy game master. For some time now, it has been suggested that the well-being of the characters, and even the players themselves, has not been paramount in my concerns during gameplay. This is, of course, furthest from the truth. I may, from time to time, set up situations that will allow the characters to put themselves in harm's way, while at the same time give the characters and the players several opportunities and circumstances that will allow them to safely navigate encounters and situations should the dice deem so. If the dice deem otherwise, well, check out my quick tips on critical roles. I will also look for times when a player makes unexpected decisions that are questionable to both the established personal edict of their character as well as detrimental to the party, or worse, the integrity of the story. Then, because of those decisions, certain circumstances may come to bear, helping the player to regain their way back to the path. If you're going to do stupid things, then there's no way you should expect there to be no ramifications for your actions. When I game master, you will reap what you sow. Just because I'm gifted with cleverly presenting plenty of rope for the characters to hang themselves with does not mean they have to use it. Nor does it, or should it imply, that I am a bad guy game master. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Well, they asked for it. With the air cleared on that subject, let's move on. Is it bad to be seen as a bad guy? In my humble and untainted opinion, no, not really. A touch of realism and a fantasy setting makes the characters more relatable. Tension from not having the correct or any tools needed to complete a task challenges the players. Giving in and let the characters mysteriously find one more something takes the drama away and hurts the story. They need to work for it. Instances are always going to pop up where the player has lost track of the character's supplies. Your min-maxer will occasionally test the game master on how many spells he has cast at a certain level. The monk is stretching out her movement an extra square or hex now and again. Area of effect spells may reach just a tad further than the last time they cast that spell. The players are usually trying to squeeze every little bit of spell effect, damage, movement to their advantage. Skills and racial abilities are displayed for all to see and be awed by the prowess of apparent talent. And damn it, they should. No holds barred. Go for it, each and every time. When the opportunity is offered, you, the players, better be reaching for the stars, because your characters are fighting for their lives. Maybe they're fighting for somebody else's lives. Individuals, towns full of residents, an entire city. Hell, maybe even the fate of the world may be resting in the hands of the characters. Boys and girls, if you're at my table, you better be playing your asses off. But not to worry. If you start overreaching on spell effects too often, accidentally losing track of the money on things you have purchased, maybe your character hasn't had anything to eat or drink in 2 days. It's okay. The bad guy game master is keeping track. And they will let you know when those instances are going to have detrimental effects on the character's performance. There will be warnings. Be sure to pay attention. There's no pulling wool over this game master's eyes. So be easy on me and mine. Your bad guy game master is still trying to make sure fun is being had by all. So says the old man. See you next time in the dojo.